I'm LZRS, the founder of Modular Cloud. Our thesis is that we are entering into a world where there are going to be a lot of different protocols, and this includes a lot of different blockchains. And in the era of the past, everyone used one chain like Ethereum, and that was the main thing that everybody used. And there was a heavy emphasis on catering to the Ethereum virtual machine and the specific needs of Ethereum. And projects like Saga allow anybody to launch their own chainlet, which is a blockchain, and it connects to other blockchains through IBC and through interchain security. And we're entering into a new world where there's customized chains. Each one works differently. There's thousands of them in the future. There's going to be thousands of them using platforms like Saga. And what we're doing is we are providing infrastructure and tooling to support this new world that we're in. So our flagship product is our Block Explorer that's compatible with rollups, multiple L1s, multiple VMs, EVM, Cosmos, Solana SVM, and a lot more.
So what has your experience been with Saga Cassiopeia versus other ways of getting your own chain?
It was an extremely seamless process. I'm always slightly intimidated whenever I go to set up something new. I don't know what to expect. It's definitely been the case where setting up different chains or running nodes and stuff like that has been a very difficult process where it does not work as you expect. That was not the case in Saga. The documentation was amazing. All the questions I had was already documented. The team really thought about how do you make this easy? How do you make this seamless? I was able to set up MetaMask, get tokens, start my chain, get the link to the RPC that we used in our Block Explorer to index our chainlet. And it was just an overall great experience.
What is the benefit of, in your opinion, having your own blockchain versus a roll-up as a service or using another L1?
It depends on the trade-offs of what you are trying to achieve with your project. So like the main benefit long-term to being on a single monolithic platform like Ethereum would be that you would have interoperability inside the same ecosystem as other smart contracts. And there would be a synchrony guarantees between the different applications running on this one unified platform. Now, a lot of this can actually be overcome by having the right tooling. And this is something that Saga is pushing forward. What you want it to be easy to deploy a new chain. You don't want that to be a very hard thing. You want it to share security. So it's a secure protocol so that your decentralized apps are actually decentralized. And you want to have different cross-chain communication and bridging solutions and ways of getting liquidity and basically transferring value across these different chains. If all those tools are in place, you can move really fast and you can build the protocol to the requirements of your application instead of coordinating with everyone else to build a base layer that serves the average person's needs, but not necessarily any particular project's needs directly. So like just as an example, let's say that you're making some sort of NFT collection and you have certain requirements for how you want to access the state of the NFT, or you have a certain latency requirement that Ethereum doesn't provide. If you wanted that to be included in Ethereum, you would have to talk to the entire broader Ethereum community and put forth a proposal, and all the other projects on Ethereum are going to have to consider if they also think that this is a good idea. And if they don't, they're going to push back. Now, maybe you want faster block times for your use case and another dApp does not. And now you're going to have conflict within the community and you're going to have to work that out in some sort of way. But in the case of launching your own chain, you could set these types of parameters like the block time and stuff like this. And you can, for example, use a different execution environment. You don't have to use the EVM. Maybe you think that like Solana's virtual machine is a better fit for your use case. Maybe you want to develop in Rust and use certain tooling there. You can do that. And you're not going to have to depend on the L1 devs to make this happen and convince the whole community to move along with you.
How has your experience been working with the Saga team?
Really great. They're always available to answer questions. I've had very, very quick response times for everything that I've needed.
What is your message to other developers who might be considering different scaling solutions now that you have tried Saga Cassiopeia?
I think that they should give it a shot. I think it's definitely worth looking into. And this is I think that there's a lot of applications that may have not been well suited for smart contracts, and this is exactly what they need.
Would you be able to show us a demo of how you are using Saga Cassiopeia?
Sure. Here we have the latest transactions that are on a Saga chainlet. This Saga chainlet is a really cool game called Another World, and this is a list of the latest transactions. Now, if this is still a project that's in development and they're building really cool stuff, but we don't see these transactions coming in right now in real time because they're probably just not using the application right now since it's at an early stage. But if you do look here, you should be able to see real time loading in the latest blocks here. As you can see here, this is all the information about the block. On the sidebar, this shows that this is a chainlet. And since our Explorer is made to work with all kinds of L1s and chainlets and rollups, we want to give information about the context alongside the data that you're viewing. Another cool feature is that we can show you, like, this is the raw block. This is the RPC call that we used to get the data for the Block Explorer. And another cool thing about our Block Explorer is that it's node compatible. So you could actually self-host this Block Explorer. It's completely free and open source on GitHub, and you don't have to run through us, although we will host it for you gladly. You could run this and point this at the RPC that's provided to you when you set up your Saga chainlet. It's like a super simple process. You register your chainlet, they give you an RPC endpoint. You could just paste this into our open source code base and run this locally or self-hosted on your own servers if you wanted to. Otherwise, we could run it for you. Here we have an ERC 1155 NFT contract. And if you look here, we can show the collection. Here there is only 2 NFTs in this collection. And what we can actually do is we can actually click into this. And now here we see that this is, here's the image of this NFT. This is a really cool in-game asset. It's a hoodie that you can wear in the game. What we built specifically as part of our collaboration with Another World was this owner's listing. And essentially, this is a real-time updated list of all the owners and their balance. So this account right here is essentially winning the game. This is like a leaderboard. And if people were playing in real time during this, while we're demoing this, then we would be seeing this update in real time. We also provide APIs that make it easy for people building on Saga chainlets to access on-chain data that maybe is not directly accessible via a node. So our NFT support is powered by a custom indexer that goes and looks at each transaction, finds all the NFTs, finds all the transfers, and will query balances in real time when you ask it to. And it does all the hard stuff. So if you want to access data that is based off of ERC 20, ERC 721, or ERC 1155 contract stuff that's not easily accessible by querying the node directly, you can use our APIs. And when your Saga chainlet is indexed in our indexer, we automatically give you access to APIs for building applications. Going forward, as a lot of people move to building their own chains and chainlets and rollups, we're going to need tools that are flexible and that work across many different chains. So that's what we have here.
In your opinion, how much time and energy and resources does it save you to have something like Saga Cassiopeia versus alternative solutions in going to market? Like, what's the time differential and time savings and cost savings of Saga Cassiopeia?
Depending on what your objective is, if your objective is to launch your own chain because you like that sovereignty and that customizability that it provides to you, Saga Cassiopeia is a great way of doing it because you're going to have that shared security and you don't need to bootstrap an entire network and secure your token and stuff like that. You can rely on the Saga validator set, and that's going to be a huge asset to your project. That's the #1 barrier to launching an L1, is to actually have that L1 be secure. So that's one thing. And another thing is just simply from a DevOps perspective, I'm very impressed by how all this stuff is automated and set up, and it's a very resilient infrastructure. So just in terms of the logistics of running the node, getting it set up, getting it configured, it's a really seamless process. If you think that launching your own chain is intimidating, definitely check out Saga, because it's going to make it a lot easier.